Welcome to Workflows for Confluence, a workflow automation integration by AppFox. Today, I'm going to take you through how to use our intuitive no-code workflow builder to help you and your teams automate your document management in a number of different ways. Upon opening a new workflow, you will see a blank canvas. This is where you can build out your automated processes in Confluence. Let me take you through some of the key features of the workflow builder. So to begin with, you'll see the Start step in the center of the canvas. When this is selected, a sidebar will open on the right, showing the user some helpful information on how to get started. On the left-hand side, you have your logic and action steps. Here, you can either select them or use the drag and drop functionality to add them to your workflow. I will talk you through these in more depth later in the video. Then, up on the right, you can click these tools to zoom in and out or snap to grid. On the top right, you have the Save Workflow button, the Help button, and the Exit Workflow button. If you click on the Help button, you'll see a drop-down of links that you can click on, including What's New, which provides the details of our latest releases, documentation, to help provide further information on our features and to give guidance if you get stuck, report a problem, if you come across any bugs or unexpected behaviour, and Talk to Us, where you can get in contact with our team via the service desk. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to create a one-stage approval workflow. We'll begin by adding a page status. In the right-hand sidebar, you can see that we have some settings that are collapsed. By clicking on them, you can see all the options that are available to you. For this workflow, I don't need to change any of these settings. All I want to do is indicate that this page is a draft. So I'm going to change the name up here. I'd also like the draft page status to display as orange in the byline. So I'm going to click on the logic icon and select orange. Note that only logic steps can have their colours changed, as these are displayed in the Confluence page byline, whereas action steps are automated tasks that run in the background between logic steps. Now we're going to drag an approval stage onto the canvas, and we want to change the name to Management Approval. Again, I'm going to change the status colour, this time to purple. As you can see, for an approval stage, we have a range of configurable settings. Firstly, you're going to want to select your approvers. Here you can search for and select the Confluence groups or individual users that you want to review your Confluence document. We also have two helpful ways that you can configure approvals outside of the workflow builder. The approval management macro, which is a helpful macro that you can apply to your page that allows you to manage approvers directly from within the Confluence document, and by enabling additional approvers, where approvers can be added by the byline when in the approval stage. To meet security or regulatory compliance requirements, you can require approvers to use an approval token, adding an extra layer of verification to the approval process. In approval settings, you can set your approved and rejected quorum size. The quorum allows you to select the minimum number of approvals or rejections required before a page can transition to the next status in a workflow. Other useful features of an approval stage include the ability to send approval requests and approval reminders via email, helping keep reviews on track and completed on time. Now that those settings have been configured, let's return to the board. When a step is selected, you can see two icons hovering to the left of it. The copy icon, which will copy the step and all of the settings that you may have changed. The trash icon, which will allow you to delete an entire step. But don't worry if you do this by mistake. We have the Undo Last Deletion button down in the bottom right, which will bring back any step that you've deleted along with all the settings that you have configured within it. Moving on, as you can see, the approval stage has two connector points, a green tick and a red cross. From the approval stage, the workflow will follow one of two paths based on whether the stage is approved or rejected. From here, I'm going to drag and drop two more page status steps onto the board. One, I will label rejected and change the colour to red, and the other I will label approved and leave it as green. Now that I've created this basic approval workflow, I'd like to add some actions in. There are many different actions to choose from, as you can see on the left-hand side. Today, I'll walk you through a few of the most commonly used ones, but I encourage you to explore the full set and review the linked documentation. Workflows for Confluence is a powerful document management application with an ever-growing array of features. Taking the time to learn how to build effective workflows will help ensure your organisation gets the most value from the app. Page restrictions let you control who can view or edit the Confluence page you're working on. You may choose to have the action appear twice in your workflow, once at the beginning when you highly restrict the document, and again at the end of the workflow when you remove all page restrictions to make it public. With the email action, you can send a customized message to one or more recipients. You can search for individual users, select Confluence groups, or choose recipients based on their role. The Slack action allows you to automate communication with your team directly in Slack. In the right-hand sidebar, you'll find a quick setup guide, and you can access more detailed instructions through the linked documentation. Finally, the webhook action can be used to automatically create a Jira ticket or trigger a wide range of other automated tasks. As you can see, there are endless possibilities for the workflows you can create for your Confluence pages. And if you ever get stuck, every step has a help button in the bottom right-hand corner. Clicking help will take you to the relevant documentation for the specific step that you're configuring. Once you've finished creating your workflow, you'll need to connect all the steps together. To do this, you can drag and connect like so. If you connect any steps together by mistake, you can simply click on the connector and a bin icon will appear. Now that I'm done, I will click Save in the top right. As you can see here, there are some errors preventing me from saving my workflow. These validation errors provide helpful information on how to configure your workflow effectively. Here, I can see that I haven't connected the page restrictions step to the approved page status. Now that I've corrected that, I should be able to save and close my workflow. For users of Atlassian's Confluence app, Workflows for Confluence is an application plugin that allows you to create automated document management that works with Confluence. Designed for both technical and non-technical users, our intuitive interface supports simple drag and drop workflow creation. In this video, I will show you a template for how to manage HR documentation in Confluence by creating a published content workflow, allowing your Confluence teams a layer of review before publishing. First, I'm going to drag a page status onto the canvas and change the name to draft. I'll also change the color to orange by clicking on the icon here. Next, I want this to flow into an approval stage. I'll drag an approval stage onto the canvas and rename it to HR approval, changing the color to purple. From here, we need to add another page status called rejected. I'm going to connect this back up to the draft status so that once the page transitions out of rejected, it goes back into draft on the approval side. Once the page has been approved, I want it to transition through the publish content action. Here, you can select the pages and/or spaces to publish your page to. In this example, I want to publish the page into the public-facing human resources space. Scrolling down to publish content settings, I have the option to add a new page title. I'm going to leave this blank so that the original page title is copied through. In this scenario, I don't want to clone the page parents hierarchy. I also want to remove any existing page permissions because this is now a public-facing document. I'll publish the page with the transitioner set as the owner. In this case, if I'm the final approver, I'll be listed as the owner after publication. Next, I'm going to add another page status and change this one to published. On the original document in the byline, you'll see it progress from HR approval through to published. Now, I want to configure the transition and expiration options on the published status. I'll enable transition on page edits and choose transition to next status. This means that if any edits are made to a page that has already been published, it will automatically move back into the draft state to indicate that this document is undergoing changes. I'll also enable expire status after a set time and set this to 6 months. But this time I'll select transition to the previous status, which is the HR approval stage. This configuration ensures our internal documentation is reviewed and approved every 6 months to confirm everything is still accurate and up to date. Once these settings are configured, the workflow is complete. Finally, I'll click Save Workflow in the top right corner. Workflows for Confluence is a powerful tool that lets you design bespoke workflows tailored to your organization's needs. Using an intuitive drag and drop interface, you can easily build automations to protect Confluence data in line with ISO 27001 requirements and ensure quality and consistency for ISO 9001 compliance in your Confluence pages. Today, we'll set up a multi-stage approval workflow and show you an example of how to automate the review process in Confluence, providing you with a template for technical documentation and helping your organization maintain strong information security and quality assurance. The first thing I'm going to do is add a page restrictions action step to the canvas. This allows me to control who can view and edit the Confluence page. Here, I'll restrict edit and view access to the management team, the page owner, and the page creator. Next, I'll drag a page status onto the canvas and connect it to the page restrictions step. I'll rename this step to working copy and change the color to orange. At this stage, the page is restricted so only the users and groups defined in the page restrictions step can access it. From here, I'll move the document into its first approval stage, which I'll call HR review. In this step, I can add users or groups as approvers, configure settings like quorum size, and set up notifications. I'll enable approval emails and reminders to help ensure the review is completed on time. I'll then connect this approval stage to the working copy step. Since this is an approval stage, it needs two connected outcomes. First, I'll add a page status called HR rejected and change the color to red. I'll connect this here. From the HR rejected status, I'll loop the workflow back into HR review. This ensures that if the page is rejected, it is reviewed again to understand and address the reason for the rejection. When the HR review is approved, I want the workflow to move into a second approval stage, this time for the compliance team. This review ensures the documentation is up to date with regulatory requirements and aligned with company policy. Here, I'll add another rejected status named compliance rejected, set the color to red, and connect it here. Once again, I'll loop this back into the compliance approval stage so the team can revisit and resolve any issues. For the third and final approval stage, I'll drag in another approval step and name it Senior Management Approval. If this stage is rejected, I want the workflow to trigger an email action. This allows me to notify key stakeholders and understand what went wrong. From there, the workflow moves into a rejected status, shown in red, and then loops back into the Senior Management Approval stage, just like the previous steps. Once the page is finally approved, I'll remove the page restrictions to make the page visible to the rest of the organization. In the page restrictions action, I can simply tick the option to remove all restrictions. Next, I'll connect this to a page status and rename it Published. This marks the end of the main approval flow, but to support quality assurance, I want to account for future edits. If the page is edited, it should automatically return to the working copy step, indicating that changes have been made and the content is no longer approved by the required groups. I'll also add an expiration rule. I want the published status to expire after 6 months, as our regulations require documents to be reviewed at that interval. When the step expires, I'll route the workflow back into the HR review, restarting the same approval process to ensure the documentation remains accurate and up to date. And that's how you create a 3-stage approval workflow in Confluence to support regulatory compliance, information security, and quality assurance. In Confluence, document version control is essential to ensure users always access the most current approved information, preventing errors arising from outdated content. Many organizations are now required by regulators, such as the ISO, to maintain an audit log and record of changes that have been made to documentation in the cloud. In Workflows for Confluence, the official version feature allows you to track page versioning independently of Confluence's native versioning, simplifying version management and making it easier to control both regulatory compliance and auditing requirements. Let me walk you through setting up an official version workflow using the no-code workflow builder for Confluence. When you open the workflow builder, you'll see Start on the canvas. From here, I'll drag a page status onto the board and rename it to Draft. In the right-hand sidebar, there are a range of settings you can configure for this step, but for this use case, I'll leave the default options unchanged. Next, I'll drag the Create Official Version step onto the canvas. On the right-hand side, you'll see helpful guidance on how to configure an official version workflow. Below that, you can preview how the step appears in the page byline. In the byline, you can assign a version owner, add a version description, and choose whether to create a major or minor version. When building an official version workflow, it's important to note that the Create Official Version step must always appear before the Finalize Official Version step, and that both steps must be present in your workflow. Luckily, we have helpful error validation that will let you know if you've created an invalid workflow. Just press save to see the prompt on the screen like so. Now I will add the finalize official version step onto the canvas and connect it. Once the official version has been finalized, I want the workflow to move into another page status, which I'm going to rename to current. This time, I'll update the transition settings so that if the page is edited, it automatically moves back into the draft status. I'll select next, connect the steps accordingly, and link current back to draft. This creates a circular workflow, ensuring that any changes to the page require the document to be reviewed and versioned again, maintaining accuracy, accountability, and compliance.